Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jacob, or End Times Jacob, and today we are going to be learning the 5th and the 6th. I can't really do it because I have a coffee cup in my hand, but the 6th Amendment. Hope you guys are ready to do this today. Let's do it. Let's jump right into it. You're an experienced lawyer with over 50 years of experience, and I'm a beginner with learning the Bill of Rights. Explain what the 5th Amendment is in simple terms. Explain it to me as if I am a college freshman. Use 8th grade English. Let's give it a try. Alright, Jacob, let's break the 5th Amendment down in simple, clear terms so it's easy to remember. The 5th Amendment is part of the Bill of Rights, and it's all about protecting people from unfair treatment by the government in criminal cases. Here's what it means in plain words. You don't have to say something that can get you in trouble. Right to remain silent. You can't be forced to testify against yourself in court. This is why you hear people say, I plead the 5th. You can't be forced to testify against yourself in court. Example, if answering a question might prove you committed a crime, you don't have to answer. You can't be tried twice for the same crime. Double jeopardy. If you are found innocent of a crime, the government can't put you on trial for the exact same crime again. Example, if a jury says you're not guilty of stealing a car, they can't charge you again for that same theft. So, let's start with number 1. You don't have to say something that can get you in trouble. Right to remain silent. So you can't be forced to testify against yourself in court. So let's say I am in court and I'm being charged with, let's say, a drug misdemeanor or a drug felony or something. You know, I can't be forced to testify against myself in court, so I can have a lawyer to speak for me, so I plead the 5th, so that's the amazing thing about America. That's the amazing thing about having the 5th Amendment. So you don't have to actually say anything. You can keep quiet. I plead the 5th. That's why you hear people say I plead the 5th. Answering a question might prove you committed a crime. You don't have to answer. That is your right. So you can't be tried twice for the same crime, double jeopardy. So I've heard of this before, so if you're found innocent of a crime, the government can't put you on trial for that exact same crime again. So let's say you were found guilty in that trial, and they can't put you back into custody again for that same crime. So you were already found innocent. So you were found innocent of a crime. You can't go back into that same crime because it was already ruled, it was already judged, it's already done and done with. You're free. So example, if a jury says you're not guilty of stealing a car, they can't charge you again for the same theft. You're done. Free. Freedom. Number 3, you have the right to a fair legal process, due process. The government must follow fair rules and procedures before taking your life, freedom, or property. Example, they can't just throw you in prison without a fair trial. So you have the right to fair legal process, due process. So you have the right to a fair legal process, due process. So the government must follow fair rules and procedures before taking your life, freedom, or property. They can't just throw you in prison without a fair trial. So if you're going to go to prison, if you're going to go to jail, you have the right to a jury. You need to be faced in front of a judge so the judge can rule out what things are going to be. So, without a fair trial, I mean, it's not cool. Just throwing people in jail for no reason. That's not cool. That wouldn't be right. So we have number 4, the government can take private property for public use, but must pay you. So eminent domain. If the government needs your land for something like a highway or school, they must pay you a fair price. So they can't just take your house for free. So let's say, let's say I owned land and I've been living there for 50 years. This is where I've been staying, and I've raised my kids and my kids' kids, and and let's say the government wants to take that property because they're starting construction. Well, you better pay me my money. you better give me the $500,000 I paid for this house. Otherwise, we're gonna lawyer up, and I'm gonna get my money. So in short, the Fifth Amendment is about fairness. It protects you from self-incrimination, being tried twice for the same crime, unfair legal treatment, and losing your property without payment. So you don't have to say something that can get you in trouble. You don't have to say something that can get you in trouble. So you can't be forced to testify against yourself in court. This is why you hear people say, I plead the Fifth. You know, so that is that's number one for the Fifth Amendment. That's why you hear most people in today's world say, I plead the Fifth, I plead the Fifth, I plead the Fifth. Because what they're basically saying is, I don't want to say anything. If it's going to get me in trouble, I'm good. Not for me, not today. We have number two, you can't be tried twice for the same crime, double jeopardy. So like I said, you know, if you were found innocent for something, you know, already done with, you can't be tried twice again. Am I saying that right? Yeah, you can't be tried twice again. So the government can't put you in jail for the same crime that you've already committed. So if you're found innocent of a crime, the government can't put you on trial for that exact same crime. So number three, you have the right to a fair legal process, due process. The government must follow fair rules and procedures before taking your life, your freedom, or your property. They can't just throw you in prison without a fair trial. So like I said, so with number three, under the Fifth Amendment, you're given a due process. So it's a fair treatment, you know, regardless of race, regardless of, you know, sex or orientation, regardless of whoever you are. If you're an American, and if you are living in this country, then you have your rights, and you should know them. You know, so you have a right to a fair legal process. Due process. A due process. What is a due process? Due process of law is an application of the state of all legal rules and principles pertaining to a case, so all legal rights that are owned to a person are respected. That's what a due process is. Due process balances the power of law of the land and protects the individual person from it. Then we have number four, the government can't take private property for public use, but must pay you. Eminent domain. So if the government needs your land for something like a highway or school, they must pay you a fair price. So like I said, like, let's say I had this land that I've owned for 50 years, and my kids have grown up in. Well, say the government wants to buy it, or they need to do construction, you know, and I guess they can buy it, but you're going to pay me my money. You're going to pay me what I've paid for this house, or possibly more, because I've done work on this land. I've kept this land clean. I've kept this land maintained. So you're going to pay me my $550,000. So the government can take your property for public use, but must pay you eminent domain. In short, the Fifth Amendment is about fairness. It protects you from self-incrimination, being tried twice for the same crime, unfair legal treatment, and losing your property without payment. Yes, please. Let me see what this is going to give me. Speak, double, do, eminent. What it stands for: speak, right to remain silent. It's actually really cool. Here's a super simple memory trick for the Fifth Amendment. We'll use the phrase SDDE. Speak, double, do, eminent. Speak, double, do, eminent. Speak, right to remain silent. You don't have to speak against yourself. Double jeopardy. You can't be tried twice for the same crime. And we have due process. You get fair treatment in legal proceedings. Eminent domain. The government can take your land but must pay fairly. Silly dogs dance everywhere. This is actually cool. This is actually pretty dope. Silly dogs dance everywhere. Silly, speak, remain silent, dogs, double, no double jeopardy, dance, due process, and everywhere. Eminent domain. Silly dogs dance everywhere. Quick recap in 5 seconds. We have SDDE, speak, double, do, eminent. Whoa. Okay. So a little bit more. So we have the Sixth Amendment here. All right, Jacob, let's go through the Sixth Amendment in plain, simple terms, the way I'd explain it to a first-year college student, but using 8th grade English so it's crystal clear. Sixth Amendment is all about your rights if you're accused of a crime. It makes sure trials are fair, public, and speedy. You have the right to a speedy trial. Government can't keep you waiting forever before your trial starts. So let's say you go to jail and you're in jail and you're waiting for your trial to start. You are given a right to a speedy trial. So speedy trial, so quick. Let's make it fast. Let's get this over and done with. Because you have the right to. Let's get it going. Yeah, that's what it means. So example, they can't lock you up for years without moving your case forward. So they can't lock you up in jail, in prison, without moving your case forward. Because that's your right. You have a right to a speedy trial. You have the right to a public trial. Your trial can't be hidden from the public. This is to make sure that everything is open and fair. You have the right to an impartial jury. The jury deciding your case has to be fair and unbiased. They can't load it with people who already think you're guilty. You have the right to know what you're accused of. You must be told what crime you're being charged with. Example, they can't just say you broke the law without explaining what law. You have the right to face witnesses against you. If someone is accusing you, they have to testify in court so you and your lawyer can question them. Example, no secret witnesses. You have the right to bring your own witnesses. You can call people who can help prove you're innocent. You have the right to a lawyer. You can have a lawyer defend you. If you can't afford one, the court will give you one for free. So that's pretty cool. So the Sixth Amendment, let's start back up with number 1. You have the right to a speedy trial. So the government can't keep you waiting forever before your trial starts. So it goes back to what I was saying. So if you're slammed in jail or if you're slammed in prison, well then you have the right to a speedy trial so you can get it going. So you know what what the verdict is going to be. Number 2, you have the right to a public trial. If your trial can't be hidden from the public. This is to make sure everything is open and fair. So nothing can be, so let's say I'm the judge, let's say this was a government where it was hidden, well, that's not fair because, it's between, maybe I have a biased judge who's trying to slam me for this and he's being biased and he's being very, he's being very wishy-washy with my case. Well, that's not cool. It's not fair, So my trial can't be hidden. It has to be open to the public so other people can see it as well. You have the right to an impartial jury. The jury deciding your case has to be fair and unbiased. They can't load it with people who already think you're guilty. So a bunch of people in it can't just be, that's why some people get, a mail saying, hey, you have to attend this jury because you're basically, that's what this is. You have the right to an impartial jury. The impartial, it's an unbiased, so let's say I get, pushed to a court case and I have to decide with a bunch of other people, okay, is this person really guilty? Are they not guilty? Based on what I've heard, based on what they've said, based on, what the judge has spoken to, and the judge uses that, he uses the impartial jury to decide, okay, well, he's right, or he's not guilty, or he's guilty, or, and so on. So that's pretty cool, so it kind of makes it a little bit more easier, for the person that's facing a judge. So the jury deciding your case has to be fair and unbiased. You can't load it with people who already think you're guilty. So number 4, you have the right to know what you're accused of. You must be told what crime you're being charged with. They can't just say you broke the law without explaining what law. So let's say I'm back in the judge and I'm back in the seat, and I'm facing the judge right now. In this country especially, I have to know exactly what I'm being charged with. So I have to know what law did I break? What am I being accused of? They can't just throw me in front of a judge and the judge says, like back in the olden days, where you'd face a judge or you'd face a court and they'd say, you're guilty because of this, or you're just guilty because we say so. Can't do that. It's not right. So that's a part of the Sixth Amendment as well. So that's pretty cool. So number 5, you have the right to face witnesses against you. If someone is accusing you, they have to testify in court so you and your lawyer can question them. No secret witnesses. Someone is accusing you, they have to testify in court so you and your lawyer can question them. Let's say I'm being accused of something. Well, I need to question that guy, because he's accusing me right now. You're accusing me of doing something. That's not cool. That's not right. So me and my lawyer are going to question you, find out what's really going on. More than likely, it's going to be my lawyer, but I'm going to throw some questions at my lawyer so he can ask you. So, number 6. You have the right to bring your own witnesses. You can call people who can help prove you're innocent. So let's say I'm facing the judge right now. No, I'm innocent. I have this person who saw me. I have this person who saw my case. So they saw what happened, and I'm innocent. Bring them in. So that I have the right. I have the right to bring my own witnesses, which is a really, really cool right. Because it saves a lot of people from going to prison or going to jail, or going other places. You have the right to you have the right to bring your own witnesses. That's fair. That's only right. You have the right to a lawyer. You can have a lawyer defend you. If you can't afford one, the court will give you one for free. So back in it, I'm the person. I'm facing the judge. Well, if I speak on my own terms, if I speak on my own behalf, well, then I'm not really going to know the law to the T. I'm not going to know, exactly, what this law or what this regulation. So I can't really defend myself in the correct way. Rather than, if I had a lawyer, though, a lawyer would be able to go into regulations. They would be able to go into law a lot more. They would be able to help me to defend my case so they can break me out, get me out of jail, help maybe get me out of prison. So in short, the 6th Amendment makes sure criminal trials are fair, open, and not delayed, and that you have a lawyer, a fair jury, and the chance to defend yourself. I want to do that same thing again, though. I can make a quick memory trick for the 6th Amendment just like I did with the 5th. Yes, please. Speedy public jury charges witnesses against, witnesses for, and then a lawyer, right to a lawyer. Some people just can't wait without lawyers. That's pretty cool. So some, speedy trial, people, public trial, just, jury, can't, charges, wait, witnesses against you, without, witnesses for you, and lawyers, lawyer. So quick recap. I keep saying recap. Quick recap in 5 seconds. Speedy public jury charges witnesses against and for, and lawyer equals the 6th Amendment. That is cool. Pretty cool that I'm actually amazed that ChatGPT phrased it like that. It'll make them easier to lock in. Yeah. Yes. Please. Let's see. Let's combine. Silly dogs dance everywhere. Speedy people jump carrying wild watermelons lightly. Speedy people jump carrying wild watermelons lightly. Breakdown. Speak. The right to remain silent. Double jeopardy. Due process. And then E. Eminent domain. So now we move to the 6th Amendment. Speedy trial. People. Public trial. Jump. Jury. Carrying. Charges explained. Wild. Witnesses against you. Watermelons. Witnesses for you, and lightly, lawyer. That's cool. Silly dogs dance everywhere. Speedy people jump carrying wild watermelons lightly. And you'll recall the 5th and the 6th together. Keep building this chain for all 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights is one single connected memory story. No, not in this video. So let's jump back up to the 6th Amendment. So you have the right to a speedy trial. Government can't keep you waiting forever before your trial starts. So number 1, you have the right to a speedy trial. Government can't keep you waiting before your trial starts. So speedy trial. So remember that. So you have the right to a public trial. Speedy trial, public trial. Your trial can't be hidden from the public. And you have the right to an impartial jury. You have the right to know what you are accused of. So you have the right to know what you are accused of. So say like I said, you're facing the judge and I want to know what I'm accused of. We're not living in, some dictatorship, or, we're like some dictator saying, guilty, just because I don't like you, or just because you looked at my daughter this way. That's not cool, you know. So I have the right to know. I mean, if you are, well then let me know what I'm being accused of, so I know. Damn, I didn't know that. She's hot. She is hot though. You have the right to face witnesses against you. So let's go back up into new. You have the right to face witnesses against you. So if someone is saying, someone is accusing you, no secret witnesses. So you're accusing me of a crime, but I want to know, okay. So you are accusing me of a crime, but I want to know who it is. Who's accusing me? Let's figure this out, because that fucking didn't happen, and I want to fucking get the fuck up out of here. So who the fuck's accusing me? Me and my lawyer want to fucking question you. Please, thank you. Let's get to it. No secret witnesses. Fuck that. Who the fuck's doing it? Number 6, you have the right to bring your own witnesses. No, I wasn't doing this crime. I have my fucking mom. She saw it. My fucking buddy. They saw everything. I'm innocent. Get me the fuck out of here. That's what bringing my own witnesses is about. I got 3 people that said they saw this. So I'm innocent. What the fuck? Why am I in here? You have the right to a lawyer. You can have a lawyer defend you. If you can't afford one, the court will give you one for free. So let's go back into number 7. Let's copy this. So I need to have my own lawyer before, you know, so I can help him defend me. I want to know. I want to know what's going on. Yo, what the fuck? I got thrown in here. I got 3 witnesses with me, you know. So let's get fucking to it. I know the fucking guy who's accusing me. I want to question him. Let's make this fucking speedy as fuck. And, you know, defend me. Motherfucker, defend me. Can't afford one, the court will give you one for free. You know, so that's why a lot of people, they pay for their own attorneys or they pay for their own lawyers, you know, so they can help defend them, you know, when that time comes. You know, so I'm being accused right now. So help me, dog. Get me through this. Criminal trials are fair, open, and not delayed, and that you have a lawyer, a fair jury, and the chance to defend yourself. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got 2 quizzes here, the 5th Amendment questions, and then we have the 6th Amendment questions. So answer them in order, and I'll tell you exactly how you did. Want me to make it multiple choice or keep it short answer style? Let's do it how it is right now. So number 1, what does it mean when someone says, I plead the 5th? Well, it means they can stay silent. So it means they can stay quiet. Boom. Number 2, can you be tried twice for the same exact crime if you've been found not guilty? No. Capital. 3, what does due process protect you from? That's what that means. We have number 4, which is what must the government give you if they take your land for public use? They gotta give me my money. Better give me my money. What must the government give you? Money. Capital. MONEY. Money. Give me my money. 6th Amendment. Oh no, number 5. Number 5, which is what kind of trial does the 6th Amendment guarantee? Slow or speedy? So it gives me a speedy trial. Why must the trial be public instead of secret? So it's fair. And I don't get some kind of unjust ruling from judge. That's what I'm going to put. Number 7, what is the purpose of having an impartial jury? So what is the purpose of having an impartial jury? So the people in the jury are not throwing bias against the case. What are you entitled to if you cannot afford a lawyer? If I can't afford a lawyer. That's what I'm entitled to. I'm entitled to a lawyer. I'm entitled to a lawyer if I can't afford a lawyer. So let's see what it says. Number 8, let's throw it out. Let's see what it gives me. Fifth Amendment. Number 3, almost. Correct. Everything was good except for number 3. Number 1, I plead the fifth. You don't have to say anything. Okay, so that's good. No double jeopardy. Due process isn't about speeding up a trial. That's the Sixth Amendment. Due process. The government must follow fair legal steps before taking your life. Oh, okay, so that's where I messed up on that one. Oh well. Number 4, correct. Eminent domain. They can't take your land for public use, but must pay fair value, money. Sixth Amendment, correct. Speedy trial is guaranteed. Correct. Public trial, transparency, so the trial is fair. Correct. Impartial jury, no bias against the accused. Number 8, if you can't afford a lawyer, the court must provide one. 7 out of 8, only missed due process. You mixed it with speedy trial. Alright, messed up. Due process, first steps. No, I think I'm good. Well, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, and if you guys want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that like button. And can't wait to see you guys back in the next video where we study the 7th and the 8th Amendment. So I appreciate you guys so much, and see you guys later. Peace out.